What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the right side of the map in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is the Rapl. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Ra. His name is Kimo. We've got an almost classic matchup here. Kimo playing Ra, Rapl playing Zeus. If you just flip the names just a little bit, wind the clock back, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. This was Kimo playing Ra, Skadi playing Zeus. You wind the clock back just a little bit longer, and this was Kimo playing Ra and Magic playing Zeus. We've had it all. We've got all of these players coming through trying to take games off of the best players. And it's always seeming to be some sort of Zeus versus Ra matchup in the end of the day. Not really. There's lots of gods to be played, but this just seems to be popping out in my mind as a bit of a classic matchup through the years of some of the finals we've had over the past I don't know how many years of Age of Mythology, especially like Mista. There was Mista Magic where Mista played Zeus and Magic played Egyptian, and there's like some Joe Skadi games complete. There's so many classic matchups. Anyways, onwards and upwards. We've got Zeus versus Ra, and this is just I believe it's just a random Voobly ladder game. So we're back at it. We're back into the random Voobly ladder games. These guys are trying to hone their skills for whenever the next tournament happens. We've got the boars over here being eaten up for Rapl. He's actually got a really nice spawn with all the boar in one location here, as opposed to Kimo's, whose boars are separated. So Rapl going to be happy about that one there. Any sort of little advantage ends up becoming very nice at the top levels of play. So we'll see how that's all going to happen for Rapl, and if he's going to be able to take any serious advantage of that or not really. So, Zeus versus Ra. What do you want to do? The first question you have to ask yourself as the Zeus player is, how well do I know my opponent? And how well can I metagame here? So the real question here is what is Kimo going to be going for? And can you defend that or not? So Kimo is known for his 2 town center play. If you know that Kimo is going to be going for 2 town centers, then you can either say, okay, well, I'm going to go for lots of villages. I'm going to try and be aggressive. Sorry, I'm going to go for lots of army. I'm going to try and be aggressive here. Try and put a stop to him by going through Athena and trying to put some pressure on early. That's something that we saw Shadowfax do in competitive Mega Random against Kimo's Egyptian. He played Zeus, I believe it was Ra, and it might have been Set, but I think it was Ra, and Kimo went 2 town centers into classical army. So that was one option that Shadowfax showed. There are a whole bunch of different ways that you can play it, though. You can go for fast 3 town centers with Zeus. You can go for 2 town centers, semi-fast mythics. So some sort of like mythic age power spikes, that kind of thing can go very nicely as well. So we'll see what Rapl's got in store for us. Now, Rapl is the Odin main, but he did learn from Mista, and I'm sure Mista would have had a couple of things to say about Zeus as to like the best way to play. Mista is always talking about, you just don't do that because it just doesn't work. It's better to do this. This works. And if you go and watch him play Age of Empires 4, you'll definitely see that he is consistently just looking for the best way to play more so than just trying to improve really little aspects of his gameplay. Like, for example, he's not spending crazy amounts of time working on micro or macro. He's mostly just doing thinking stuff where he's trying to work out, well, what options could I actually do if I'm in this position? What options can I do if I'm in this position? And go from there. So we're seeing Rapl going through Athena here. He's got 7 villages on wood, 5 villages on gold. This indicates to me he's going for a fast 2nd town center. Kimo, on the other hand, he's going through Dar. Hasn't actually scouted his 2nd town center at all. He hasn't left his base. And this indicates to me that Kimo is going for a 1 town center gameplay. And the reason why I say this is more and more are we seeing that Ra players against the Greek players who are going for greedy 2 town center plays. Why bother? You don't need to. It takes around about 5 minutes for the town center to pay itself off and then for you to see an advantage with 2 town center play. So the idea is if your opponent says, I'm going for a 430, I'm going to get a 530 town center, you can just say, all right, no worries. I'm going to go 1 town center fast rolling, be there at 8 minutes. I'm going to have 2 to 3 minutes of crazy amounts of pressure that I can put onto you because you're not equal to me right now. I'm in front in terms of resources that I actually have. So I'm going to throw them at you and try and get some damage done. So we'll see if that's what Kimo is going to be going for here or not. He's waiting. Is he getting Shadoof out? I don't see him with Shadoof just yet, but he's got all the goats. He might not want to rain until he's in the heroic age. There is a interesting idea of hunt to the heroic age, farm to the mythic age that 1 town center Rapl players could start thinking about doing. But Rapl here just looks like he's actually going for an incredibly aggressive town center. This one looks closer to the Kimo base than anywhere else. As the Jason comes through, has picked up Pandora's Box, which is the negative 25% myth unit training time relic. And he's going to be searching around for something to do. You see the wall here. The wall is not really going to do all too much. Just now the houses are going to get taken down very quickly here. And Kimo is having to get pulled back right now as his villagers getting onto this location. We see the Pharaoh going to come over here and try and take down this Minotaur. Rapl's going to be attempting to force some sort of shifting sands here. He wants Kimo to use shifting sands and move this Odysseus away. And that way he gets a little bit of, well, I mean, it's perfect here for Rapl. So the shifting sands gets used, but he doesn't even lose the Odysseus. So this is just buying like a 30 seconds of time or something for Kimo, because that Odysseus is just going to, well, should just circle around and come back onto this position here. As Kimo is getting closer and closer to the next age, his armor is up. Does he have that Shadoof? Now he's researching it. Doesn't quite have the resources for it just yet. And Rapl just retreating back. I feel like he could just return back over here and be completely fine. See the villagers moving on to this granary here. Not slowing down at all. Definitely wants to take this before his opponent gets to the next age or anything like that. We do see the Kotoska bosses spotted the settlement. And we've got stable archery range. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I'm going to keep saying it until I see someone do it and it fail abysmally. Archery ranges are bad in this matchup. Stop building them. Stop building archery ranges in this matchup. All right, I've said it. Okay, we can move on. Alrighty. Notable's coming over onto this town center over here. We see the Pharaoh has been taken out. Although the Minotaur has been taken out by the Pharaoh here. As he retreats back and the Odysseus trying to get a couple of shots off as Kimo's just about to click up to the next age. He might be going for a 1 town center fast mythic here, but it's going to be fairly slow. As now he's going to be able to advance. He can throw farms down if he wants. And he's going to be going up through Hathor. So no real surprises here from Kimo. And Rapl just motoring ahead as per usual. Archery ranges. See the wall getting kind of taken down as well. I think this wall doesn't even connect up to this location here. I'm surprised to see this Odysseus not coming over here and just hitting Alt-S on this position. There's nothing really there to stop that, so Rapl being a little bit kind to Kimo, because this 18 range is enough to hit this gold mine from this position here. As we see the Toxotes still coming in. I guess if the idea is to use the Toxotes to hit the gold mine from afar, then yeah, that makes some sense, but generally speaking, you don't get that kind of a position, so you have to kind of make the decision there as if it's any good. As the wall's coming up, this food over here is fairly important for Rapl. He doesn't really want to start farming just yet, so he wants to eat as much of that as he possibly, or gather as much of that as he possibly can. As the Pharaoh over here getting shot down, might actually get taken out. Ooh. Kimo gets away with 3 HP there, as Hathor does pop. The Wadget coming over here to check out this location, looking for a gold mine as Kimo is desperately going to be wanting to throw his Migdol stronghold up on this position here. Going straight after those villagers on this location. The walls will be up. A bolt onto that Patsukos makes a lot of sense there. Nice play there by Rapl, and Rapl is going to continue this pressure as now his units are going to be making his way over onto this location there. The watchtower is up, will get some damage done, and I don't think that Rapl has quite got the resources here to really get this damage done, though the Pharaoh might get sniped here. Nice play there. Good awareness by Rapl to snipe that one down, going after the villagers next. Probably just going to be leaving here, try and take out the rock. It's going to be going down very fast. Does drop the Wadjet in time. The rock going to be dropping. Getting actually a little bit of damage there onto the Migdol stronghold maybe. Either that or that's just the sound that it makes when it falls. I don't know. Anyways, Rapl hanging around, doing his stuff. Stable coming up now on the front here for Rapl. Definitely spamming buildings is a good way to play at this position. He's got restoration, no ceasefire, so has to be a little bit careful. Definitely the next stage here for Rapl is going to be getting heroic age and getting those medium upgrades and heavy upgrades, because remember Kimo went one town center here, so Kimo's got a kind of on a timer. He needs to pick off some villages. He does have Locust, so he can definitely get those villager kills as the unit's pushing back. And we'll see if he's going to be able to find it or not, as the villagers are going to come through over here. Kimo still has a little bit of gold left in this gold mine, 500 gold, as we see the villagers going to be shanking down the houses, taking down this stable, and going to try and grab this gold mine for themselves. And Rappel's just going to say, nope, not today. There is a gold mine up on this location over here, pretty far away from Kimo's base, but it is there. So you might want to think about going up there instead. We just see one lone cavalry going for some villager, for some raids here. We'll get a villager kill or two while Rappel's not paying attention to that one. One of those little things to get a little bit more aware of is to just have an eye on the minimap for the entirety of the game. You can practice it a little bit by kind of just every time you click your army, you drop your eye over to the minimap, and you just keep doing that. And very rarely will you get hit with a raid and not notice it if you do that. So you kind of have a method that you're going to play the game through, like army, minimap, oh, blue here, okay, run away. As we do see the villagers going to be turning around, starting to shank the cavalry. Cavalry has 165 HP and will go down, but we see this raid now coming through over here as well, as Kimo is going to be looking for some sort of a locust. He hasn't found it yet. This is going to be the locust spot over here, as the cavalry are going to be making their way through here. The villagers aren't going to be able to escape too easily here. We'll see if Kimo is going to drop that locust here. Looks like the villagers split nicely though, as Rappel's going to be retreating away. Meanwhile, we see a town center coming up over here, as well as the Pharaoh is going to take out that one Pegasus. That lone Pegasus does give Rapl the idea that's happening, but it wasn't quite fast enough to actually know, as we see another storehouse coming up over here for some reason. This looks like the most AI storehouse you've ever seen. As the units have to retreat back, Rapl can't quite take this fight just yet. Nice micro from Kimo to stay away from that, but the most AI storehouse you've ever seen. Anyways, villagers getting taken out on this position, getting pushed back here. This tower doing some good damage as well as the units retreat back. Kimo will be losing one cavalry here. He's got a handful of Wadgets here to help out as well. An interesting unit to be building. But Kimo's now 2 town centers, going to start getting those units. Locust does get dropped onto the farms. This is a very, very smart way to play. If you don't find yourself hitting any big locust on villages often, actually just using it on the farms is guaranteed damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 farms here. 75 wood means that your opponent has to go ahead and spam farms again. So you've got some guaranteed damage done. As the Toxotes come in, going to start taking down these chariot archers. Nice job there. Kimo kind of out of position. He needs more cavalry here. I'm surprised he didn't have them, as he's now going to be getting a lot more food in the bank from this rain. Making those cavalry out as well. The chariot archers trying to pull back. I personally, I don't see the reason here for the chariot archers. If your opponent's going Hippocon Toxotes, mass cavalry becomes even better, because you can just like raid your opponent to death with those cavalry. They're super fast. Your opponent can't catch up to them. The Toxotes become completely worthless. But Kimo decides to go with chariot archers here for whichever reason. As he's trying to push his opponent back just a little bit. You see the farms coming up on this position over here. Granary right there would be really nice. We'll see if that's what Rappl's going to do. Rapl keeps on taking these fights in a really, really nice way. He's dealing with those cavalry before the numbers get too big, and he's able to get some good value out of those Toxotes because Kimo keeps on fighting under population. He's able to kill off those units really, really quickly. And Rapple's just got a huge advantage here for the time being. As Kimo's motoring ahead, he's going to attempt to get this town center in the back corner of the map here. As the Toxotes going after these chariot archers here as best as they possibly can here. And we see the chariot archers pushing back. The Toxotes retreating, and now they're going to get caught out just a little bit. So this is a bit of a good trade now for Rapl. Good retreat back there from the cavalry to get onto those hippocons. The chariot archers need to get out of here though, and they get a little bit of a kill. Nice micro there from Rapl though, dodges those archers nicely, or these arrows nicely. So he's going to be choosing to drop the restoration here to continue the tempo that he's managed to muster here. Now next question is where to next? Rapl can get to the next age now. He's got his 3 town centers, he's got his economy absolutely huge. He's going to be hitting the heroic age with lots of resources to boot to continue fighting. But Kimo seemingly has managed to get himself into a good position here. He's still having to build villages where I reckon Rapl is almost full villages here. As the armory finishes up, and he will be going up through Apollo. So no real surprises where that's concerned. As the cavalry retreating back. Kimo making these villages, doing everything he possibly can. We see these villagers searching around the map, trying to get this gold mine over here, but Rapl is having none of that. He's already got the wall up. The villagers do manage to sneak through here somehow. Looks like this wall wasn't quite finished off, but the villagers here sneaking up this Migdol stronghold. I reckon Rappel's got an inkling that this is happening. In fact, he sees it. He sees it happening, and his units are going to move over here immediately and take down all of these villages very, very nicely here. Is Kimo going anywhere to the next stage? No, he's going to get some fortified town centers. The villagers moving forward onto this gold mine over here as the Pharaoh does get spotted here. Going to get taken down. Nice micro there from Kimo, garrisoning that one away. But Rapl, with those Toxotes, he's just not able to deal with this military building. The army coming through for Kimo, and Kimo secures another gold mine here. Nice job. He's managed to find 3 gold mines for him and 3 gold mines for his opponent. We've got the underworld passage now available for Rapl, so we'll see what he's going to be able to do with that. Is he getting his upgrades immediately? Researches that heavy hippocon upgrade, super important to deal with this army. If I was now Rapl, I would 100% stop making those archers, just go full cavalry, prodromus, hippocon, and then be in a really, really good position because he's got all the farms he needs. He can just take villages off of wood, put them onto farms, and be really, really happy. We do have this Manticore going to be going to town on these chariot archers. Every time that special ability comes up, the splash damage is gigantic. I think it's 100 AoE bonus damage, yada, yada, yada. What is it? 6 projectiles, 15 pierce each. So those 6 projectiles, some of them will multi-hit 1 unit, but you can hit 6 different units dealing 15 damage each. You can do the math. 90 damage in 1 shot. It's a lot of damage. Kimo continuing along here, trying to keep those farms coming up, getting the food economy to make everything that he needs to continuing motoring ahead in this game and getting into a decent position. I think the thing that Kimo's got to be having in the back of his mind right now is what is his win condition? And same too for Rapl, because at this point, both players are just boomed. There's been no real... I mean, Rapl had a thought to get a gold staff here, but he didn't manage to get it. But now what's the win condition? Or what's the lose condition here is also another way to think about this. So the way in which Kimo's going to lose this game is possibly by losing a town center to an underworld. So Kimo's going to have to set up for that, put his buildings around his town centers. Luckily for him, his town centers are all nice and close to each other. So he's going to be able to defend or react fairly nicely. So we'll see how he's going to do that. And then Rappel's lose condition is going to be Son of Osiris, some sort of gold staff, some sort of towers coming up on his town centers. His hometown center over here has a big gaping weakness in it. So lots of weaknesses in his position he's going to have to solidify here to not lose. the game, as well as looking for ways in which he can win the game. As now the raid coming in onto this position, the Hippocon do get taken out nicely as the Cavalry do come back. Kimo still hasn't managed to get himself heavy Cavalry in this game, so those Cavalry are going to get not be as strong as they should be at this point in the game, as we are seeing some camel caravans getting started. As the raid's coming in onto this position as well. The chariot archers very, very nicely juking around away from those heavy Toxotes that Rapl has made. He's getting the good raids in, but the chariot archer's kind of getting a little bit stuck here. Nice attempt there from Rapl to kind of path block a little bit here, but he doesn't quite manage to get it as the chariot archers getting pushed back. Going to make their way all the way back home. Heavy cavalry now coming through for Kimo. He's got some very, very strong units here, and the game has come to a relatively close position right now. Rappel's got himself 8 villagers on favor, so we might be thinking about Colossus here in the next stage of the game. The villagers all getting pushed off of gold right now is really, really bad. Plenty Vault going to get thrown down immediately here. I imagine Forge of Olympus as well comes through. Very important technologies, as Kimo is going to be thinking about trying to get to the Mythic Age as fast as he possibly can. He needs mummies and he needs monuments. Right now he's got 1 monument only. To be able to get the same amount of favor income as a Greek player, you need to have 5 as a Greek player with 7 villages on favor, you need to have 5 monuments up. So you can do it, and it is worth it. And then you can manage to make those mummies and deal with those Colossus, as well as the villagers are continuously getting pushed off of the gold here. This is an unrelenting pressure right now by Kimo. He's doing a really, really nice job of it in this game, as he's having to retreat back at this point. We see the Pharaoh getting taken out over here by a Colossus as the cavalry coming through again. Is Kimo able to advance just yet? Not just yet. He's got himself Skin of the Rhino as he's continuing to put the pressure over here. As the Pharaoh still alive, as that Colossus is taking a ton of damage from said Pharaoh. Units still getting pushed back here. We are starting to see some Myrmidon coming in to the fray. Those are some scary units to deal with for Kimo. Chariot Archers are good against them, but the best unit to counter those Myrmidon are Axemen. So we'll see if Kimo's going to go for that, as he's now advancing through Osiris, as the Colossus coming back over here trying to stay alive for a while. Going to be eating up that gold mine, keeping these units a little bit preoccupied. Nice play there. We see the villagers getting pulled right now by Rapl. Going to be attempting to take these down as best as he can, as Kimo has just found this is the perfect timing. He's completely shut Rapl off of gold at this point, and Rappel's got nothing left. He's got nothing left. How? Well, he's on this gold mine right now, but we see more units coming over here to take this down. Some Myrmidon coming through. But right now, all Kimo needs to do is put pressure on these gold mines, and he's going to win this game, as Rapl didn't wall any of this off. He didn't defend any of this. And he's got a little bit of gold in the bank right now, but I don't think he's got the units to do anything. He can't get himself those armory upgrades that he wants because he doesn't have the resources. He's losing villages pretty brutally fast here. Is he getting himself Colossus? Yes, he is. So there is a plan here for Rapl to get a handful of Colossus. And Underworld would be fantastic to give himself a little bit of relief in this game, but the villagers just getting absolutely decimated here, and Kimo playing incredibly well, as the Underworld has to be used to move the villagers forward here. We see the gold mine getting the stables getting deleted as the gold mine coming through, and now those Colossus Underworld players out the window, and Kimo has managed to avoid any sort of lose condition now in this game. So it's all going to come down to late game skills for Kimo, and that's basically it, unless he just wins in this stage of the game. As Rappel's continuing to produce units, 123 of 160 population. These units have now got themselves Pierce armor up, but nothing else. Villagers happily on this gold mine. Definitely could delete that granary there and build a storehouse here if he wants. As we will be seeing the Underworld Passage getting taken out, and Rapl retreating back now. Some more military academies coming through. And, well, raid's going to continue coming through. The question is, Kimo does know that this is a possibility here. And it is open, but he's not attacking it. And we are going to be seeing the Chariot Archer potentially pulling back. We see the Mummy coming in to take down one Colossus, going to be retreating away as the Odysseus chasing that one down. We get 20 seconds or so for the Mummy to recharge that one-hit kill. The Colossus then get taken out. And now Kimo had the opportunity here to get this gold save. He's got units over here. He's got a villager over here as well that can sneak up some military buildings in that back corner. But Rapl has managed to sneak this gold mine over here and from that underworld, which is going to allow him to stay alive in this game. So we'll see how it's going to go as Kimo's moving up to the top side of the map here. If we take a quick look at Kimo's position, he's just about to finish up on this gold mine. He's got a solid trade route started, so he is in a fantastic position. But Rapl has managed to get full population here, and these are Myrmidon. Myrmidon are scary. These are some of the scariest units to deal with here as the cavalry do come through here. They're going to start taking these villages out nicely. But with the Myrmidon out, the Myrmidon are going to be able to push through and do so much damage. But Son of Osiris is something that Rapl's going to have to deal with here first. As Kimo's got that one out, he's got the Son of Osiris moving in. And those Myrmidon marching forward. Now we've got ourselves bronze mail, iron shields. These Myrmidon will not die easily to a watchtower at all in this game. Kimo's now throwing down barracks. And I would love like a cheeky siege works or something. Siege works over here, make like 5 siege towers or something, and then just go and see if you can catch Rapl off guard or something like that. We see a fortress coming up on this position to try and defend it against those cheeky cavalry raids. But Rapl here is come to a bit of a standstill. He could go after this town center if he wants. He's going to be moving through the map. We see the chariot archers spotting the army movement here. Kimo not paying attention just yet. The Myrmidon moving in. Rapl trying to get those villagers back out. Not really, kind of. He's coming back onto this gold mine. So there's plenty of gold left. Nice micro here from Kimo picking off straggler units. Champion is through for both players. So both players are going to hit this late game in a relatively nice fashion, though. Kimo should be... I'm not sure exactly why he's not. I feel like Kimo should be in front right now, but his score is only just a touch in front. I would love to see Kimo making some effort to take this location here, because there's nothing here. If he takes some time to build here and then just say, hello, I got towers here, I'm pushing you. Then Rapl's on the back foot, and this is an open town center. This map is a really bizarre map because the third town center is really well protected in a kind of a big way. But now we see Rapl going after this town center. He's got the Colossus here, but Kimo too smart. Mummy in. Mummy takes down one Colossus. Mummy will take down the other Colossus as well, as the Bellerophon's going to be coming in. But the Myrmidon are in. These are heavy Myrmidons. Do they have any bonus damage? Yes, they've got the weapons. The Bellerophon jumps in, takes down the Mummy. The town center going to be going down. We've got ourselves Sun-Dried Mudbrick, Architects, everything in right now, as Kimo is nowhere to be seen. He's got a handful of champion chariots here. And the question is going to be, is this going to be enough or not to take this town center down? We've got no attempt at taking down this town center over here as more units coming through. And now Kimo is down town center. He's down 2 town centers to 3 town centers. So Rapl does still need to consolidate this position now. He's taking it down. There is the Son of Osiris coming in, but the Bellerophon spots this one immediately, going to be jumping through. We see the Myrmidon coming through onto this position. The Son of Osiris not retreating at this point. The damage coming through so fast. This is only 5 units, and it's absolutely managed to carve through that Son of Osiris, as it's been basically done no damage in this game. 26 HP remaining. Going to be getting taken down. Beautiful play here by Rapl to take that one out, as the town center is going to be getting attempted to get thrown up as fast as it possibly can. A Pharaoh does come through for Kimo, but a Colossus is going to be on the way. Does Kimo have any real mummy in here? Not at the moment. He does have 4 monuments now, so he's basically got the amount of favor income he needs to deal with the favor income which Rapl is acquiring, but he needs to get those mummies out as fast as he possibly can. Right now, Rapl is at 149 of 160 population, but Kimo is saying, no, I'm going after this location now. I'm going to try and get your town center down while you're attacking my town center. But at this point, the town center has been nullified. We do have champion axeman through for Kimo, so he's going to be able to deal with those heavy Myrmidon. And right now, a really good army composition before the towers start coming through is Hippocon Myrmidon. Super strong. to keep the pressure, as well as those Heliopoli that are going to be coming in. We see a fortress coming up on this position to take this town center down, and we'll see what Kimo's going to attempt to do now. He's still got the trade route. He's got so many markets over here, 6 markets. It's going to be a difficult thing to take those out, that's for sure, as these chariot archers looking for some more raids yet again. Definitely keep on hitting that gold is going to be a really nice way to play this one. See the temple going to be going down, and that means no mummy out for Kimo either. I would love to see a whole bunch of towers getting thrown down by Rapl. Rapl here with a decent amount of resources, so just a handful of towers would go a really long way here. He's also got the Colossus sneaking in onto this position over here, going after that one to take down the population of Kimo even further, as more units sneaking in onto this position. The villagers trying to take down the fortress, but they're not going to be able to. We just see this mummy has come through, as the Colossus are going to be getting taken down fairly fast. Do the Myrmidon have the upgrade? Not just yet. It's an upgrade in... I never remember the name. I think it's called Beast Slayer. Yeah, Beast Slayer comes through, and then those Myrmidon get bonus damage against myth units, so they can deal with those nicely. As Rapl still hasn't managed to get this town center, but he is securing this location nicely. But he did lose a whole lot of villagers here. Does he have a market set up? Yes, he does, and is trading nicely to this location, so he just needs to stay cool, continue getting his gold income. He's got 1,600 gold left, so should be okay there. But if he gets gold starved before his trade route is set up, then that gives Kimo a very, very solid chance to come through here. So we do see the gold colossus going to be trying to retreat away from this mummy. The mummy going to be taking down a Myrmidon here, as the gold colossus going somewhere else. They might choose to come to this town center over here and take that one out if they can. Take out this location here, or whichever. So you see the chariot archers coming through. They will get taken down by the town center here, as the Bellerophon is sitting here at 99%. Really can take those chariot archers down with Bellerophon fairly easily here. Rapl is kind of struggling to get those towers down. He's got guard tower tech, so he just needs to build them. We've talked about it once, it's said a million times. You don't need the town center up. Delete this town center, build towers first, consolidate the position, then take the town center. It's the way to do it nearly every single time. So we see villagers now moving over here to grab this Migdol stronghold. Now the Colossus are going to be making their way over to the markets. They're going to be very disappointed when they see 6 markets being built at 1,680 HP. That's a lot of HP there, as the Colossus coming through to take them out. The Myrmidon in as well to take out Shibitsku. We'll see how it's all going to go. We see there, this is the catapult and the town center. I mean, there's no villages here anymore, but it's just how it is. Kimo's making a really, really nice attempt to push back. We see the villagers pushing in onto this position over here. The mummy does deal with 1 minion here. You definitely need to make sure that Bellerophon is with your Colossus. And that's what's going to happen here. The Bellerophon comes in, the Bellerophon jumps, the mummy goes down. It's a really, really nice combo with Bellerophon, Gold Colossus, side raids. As this Colossus has just gone to town over here. He's taking down so many houses, going now after the temple here to take that one out. And what's Kimo doing over there? Doesn't look like he's making a mummy or anything. As the villagers are all in on this position. Definitely towers, fortress here. Take out the trade route could be absolutely devastating. These single chariot archers causing a lot more problems than they otherwise should be doing. As over here we see this Bellerophon go into town against the army of axemen here. Kind of interesting. The axemen only deal 8.5 damage. Bellerophon 620 HP. He stays alive for quite some time. But Rapl does lose said Bellerophon. Definitely not something you want to have happen, but something that does happen. Now we're going to be seeing those guard towers coming up on the trade route, as Rapl going to try and put a stop to Kimo's never-ending economy, as the cavalry, mercenary cavalry getting trained in onto this position. Guard towers almost up. I do always think that you can build walls first. Like I could imagine like a wall over here, and then towers behind this to keep the villagers safe, as a very, very easy way to get your towers up against an Egyptian player. One way to play that that kind of side build portion of the game better would be to try and do that. There's units still coming through here. The Gold Colossus doing a really, really good job here. And you can see that the gold colossus are coming out, but there's 6 villagers on the temple. That's a lot of villagers there to be gathering favor. And all the resources are fairly low apart from wood for Rapl at this point. So you're seeing him really having to spend the resources to continue this pressure. So if Kimo manages to get this town center back, he might be able to hold here and turn this game on its head. As we are seeing guard towers attempting to come up in this position. As the gold colossus all wandering through, we see the temple is up. As Kimo is going to be wanting to get himself a mummy out of this one, I would assume, in order to deal with these colossus that have come in here. Meanwhile, more raids over here dealing with these donkey caravans. Rapl hasn't dealt with this yet. There's just been 4 chariot archers on in his base for the longest time here. And you see the temple going down. The town center is going to be attempting to go up here. I don't think that Rapl is going to be allowing that one anytime soon. But the towers that Rapl put up here have been dealt with. These champion axemen will have... they've got decent upgrades, but obviously no Horus because he didn't go Horus. I thought maybe he would have Axe of Vengeance. It's impossible for him to have Axe of Vengeance. As the temple does go down, the tower is going to be going down as well here. As this Bellerophon searching for a pharaoh to kill. All that other good stuff. So chariot archers getting taken down by the villagers. Maybe Rapl feels like he needs less villagers, so send them to their death. And the chariot archers actually do kind of good here. 1 Toxote though to help out. Probably going to deal with that raid. This unit's still trying to get this location up. The tower's getting thrown up. I feel like coming around this side would be a better way because there's no buildings over here. Start the towers up here, slow push in, get the town center is a much more realistic way. Definitely putting buildings up where the enemy units aren't is a really, really smart way to be playing. As the siege works does go down, the gold colossus is going to be moving forward right now to take down these markets as best as they can. As more of these colossus are coming through, as Rapl's just happily continuing to spam those out. Now Kimo's got 5 monuments out. He's got his temple over here. He's trying to build these mummies as best as he can. But now the markets are going to get taken up. We see more markets going up. Still 6 markets. Well, building a 6 market. We've got the priest on the trade route as well for Kimo. A little bit inefficient. Definitely better to have your pharaoh on that one. But better to have a priest than nothing, obviously. And now the guard towers are kind of be coming up. Very scary units these, or buildings these are. 13.6 damage. Bonus damage against mercenary cavalry. Deal 2 arrows. Both the arrows will be hitting most of the time, especially with chronolations, as more towers coming up on this top side, as Rapl is going to be solidifying this position here. As now we see the markets going down even more, but the mummy does come through. I don't see the Bellerophon anywhere around here just yet, but the Colossus going to continue to make their way through here, as this mummy is going to deal with these nicely though. So getting some good value out of this one mummy for this time being here. As the Cornic market going to be going down. Heracles is going to come down though, so we'll be able to deal with this mummy as he's whacking it away with his big club. That one goes down nicely. Well played there. The tower's coming up. We see a fortress coming through here as well. As Rapl's economy is now gigantic. He's going to be spamming these buildings down nicely. Bellerophon coming through. More villagers coming in into the fray here. As the Heracles can now also deal with the Pharaoh here fairly quickly. And I mean, there's still more markets getting thrown up by Kimo. And will he be able to get this one up by the time this one goes down is the big question. Right now, Kimo's still got plenty of resources. He's doesn't really have the production though, for whichever reason. Trying to make Axeman Chariot Archers to deal with those Myrmidon. But there's really no Myrmidon getting built anymore, as the town center is now slowly getting thrown up here by Rapl. Rapl would definitely send like all these villagers forward now. Look at his resources. Send these villagers on wood forward, like send 13 forward to get this town center up, and he'd be okay. But it looks like he's making some good momentum here as the tower's getting taken down. The market will go down before this market was up, but I think it doesn't matter that much. These camel caravans actually will drop off their gold much quicker than otherwise. As the mummy does come in, does take out that other Colossus. See the Bellerophon searching around, definitely wanting to take down said mummy here as he is on the prowl, but will he be able to get there is the big question. Looks like he won't. But the mummy does end up going down. The town center now up for Rapl. Is going to hit 180 population very, very fast here. Do we see any attempt at all from Kimo to go after this town center? Not really, as the Heliopolis rolling forward, going to take down this Migdol stronghold. And it looks to me as if Kimo is in a very, very difficult position here. We see the mummy coming through. We'll deal with this Colossus very nicely before going down. So every time you get a 1-for-1 trade here is good. So for the Egyptian, so Kimo doing a nice job where that's concerned. See some walls coming up over here to protect the trade route as more markets going to be coming down. Obviously, Kimo's going to want to get as much gold as he possibly can. As he's got 3,000 gold, so maybe he shouldn't care so much about it. Temples coming down on the front, more military buildings getting dropped. The Heliopolis now going after the main town center as the mercenary cavalry coming in onto this position. But now Rapl can start thinking about building himself some buildings over here. Does Kimo see this is the big question. Yes, he does see the fortress, but will he actually notice it? Answer yes, he's going to throw a Migdol over here. One of the safest ways to play this is to put towers here first and then put the Migdol up, or the fortress up. Something we see Joe doing quite a bit is starting his towers significantly further away from his opponent's base than you would think. That way he has somewhere to retreat back to if he needs to. As he's still seeing the push forward. This is still the most important location of the map here for Rapl to take control of and for Kimo to defend, because it's where the trade route is. And it seems to me that Rapl's army is just too strong here. He's able to push in, and Kimo just cannot hold here. We're going to be seeing the Migdol stronghold going down over here as those Toxotes doing tons of damage. Some more gold Colossus coming in onto this position here as Rapl throwing some more military buildings back up. His pressure has been thwarted for the time being here, but he's got the right idea to deflect his opponent's attention as best as he possibly can. As now the Colossus moving on to the front. Rapl's got himself 14 villages on favor right now, which is a lot. Could definitely be using some more villages on the front for buildings here to deal with those mercenary cavalry. Because mercenary cavalry are free population, counter mercenary cavalry with towers. Mercenary cavalry can only fight in so many different places, so they're not really a threat. You just build towers wherever they are, and you live in the dream. See the mummy getting taken out there nicely. Good micro from Rapl. Good awareness with the said Bellerophon there. We see some villagers pushing back in here yet again. Champion Myrmidon looking to get some damage done here in this game. As the guard tower just about to be dropped here. We see a Heracles coming through to help out yet again. And, I mean, it's just a matter of time. Like, well, what can Kimo really do to win here is the big question. A wonder in this back corner, or maybe over here, could be a way for Kimo to find a win. But right now, he doesn't really have the resources to do that. He doesn't even have the population, and he's got 12 villages. He can't spend the time building villages that he's lost. So he's just slowly over time getting withered down to nothing. He's got 12 villages on food, 18 villages on wood. And that's just nothing. That's not enough. He's got tons of camel caravans, or at some point had tons of camel caravans. So he still has economy, but he needs those villages in order to build a wonder, obviously. So that would be currently the only real way I could see Kimo to find a win here after all is said and done. Now we see a guard tower coming up on the front as Rapl is going to continue this push through this forest over here. We see the mummy getting taken down as the Heliopolis is going to roll over here to try and take down the markets and everything else around this corner here. You do see some pressure coming into this position. Does Rapl have a whole bunch of idle military somewhere? He's got a couple. He's going after the main town center now with these Heliopoli, and it looks like Kimo just... Well, he's got the mercenary cavalry coming out, but the units are just going to continue rolling in here. As now we see some walls coming up from Rapl to get the Petropolis spam coming in onto this position. Get himself maybe stone walls as well, wouldn't go astray. see the mummy getting taken out. The Odysseus doing a good job here. The Migdol stronghold going to be going down fairly fast, even with 10 villagers repairing this one. And Kimo's just, he can't start, he needs villagers. He needs to build villagers, and he can't manage to do it here as he's just losing them, and he needs mercenary cavalry. You see the chariot archers coming back in over here, trying to get a little bit of damage onto Rapl's economy, but 1,000 gold in the bank, a little bit of damage isn't going to really do all too much here, it would seem. So now the Heliopoli coming back over here. We do have the Gold Colossus here as well, so Kimo's going to need to make himself a mummy to take out this this Gold Colossus as well, as the walls are up. And see another fortress getting dropped by Rapl on this position. More towers coming in over here. This location getting kind of busted through as there's just tons of Heliopoli. The only real good counter to Heliopoli, there's two, is the Skin of the Rhino villagers and Spearmen and Horror Spearmen. And obviously Kimo has neither of those at this point. So he's got the villagers, but he doesn't have the Spearmen at all, let alone Horus Spearmen. So these Heliopoli are just going to run over his base incredibly effectively here, as the town center is looking like it is just is falling very, very fast. We do see a mummy coming out, which will be able to deal with this Gold Colossus. But little by little, Kimo's got no food left in the bank. He's going to be running out of the resources needed to even repair the town center, because you need food to repair a town center, obviously. He can't build axemen anymore. He can't build spearmen. He can only build chariot archers. He's going to be running out of wood, I imagine, fairly soon as well on this location over here as well. It's the town center, 16 food left. It goes down very slow. See another Gold Colossus coming into the build over here, into this town center to try and take it out. There's now the Heliopoli dealing with this house, going to be able to go after this town center, as we see a little bit of a blitzkrieg happening, and in that moment, Kimo does decide to tap out. GG, well played by Rapl. A really, really nice play here. Kimo definitely had the opportunity to win this game with the raids. He let this gold mine go astray when he had all of the momentum, and Rapl managed to escape that one, utilizing his underworld, or stay alive utilizing his underworld there. But then a beautiful play to take this town center down. I reckon if Kimo had managed to hold this one here, he probably could have been okay here, and it could have been a really, really interesting late game. But having lost this one, he's just falling too far behind, not able to make too much happen in this one. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next game.